Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Episode 9. We're going to talk about commitment, at least how commitment permeates through our organization and through our personal lives. I'm going to kick it over to Dave. You go ahead and get us started on this conversation. I'll go ahead and chime in when ready.
Yeah, commitment's a really important one to, as Alex said, to us personally and in the business. One of the things that Alex and I connected on immediately when we met was a sense of purpose and a sense of drive that we both had individually, and where it was different. So Alex has talked on LinkedIn and multiple times about his journey through fitness and what that's done for him and really changed his life around. And I think anyone can relate to that. That takes commitment, that takes drive, that takes perseverance. And those are traits that are really important to me personally, which is a main reason why we connected, among other things. But also, it's something I see as important in the company. For me personally, I started playing drums when I was a little kid, and I used to practice 6-7 hours a day for years. So that the whole 10,000 hours thing, that was sort of the track I was on. But that's been a huge part of my life, is just that type of discipline, because that's how you get results. And frankly, if you love it, I loved it. I didn't care about the time. The time just kind of went by. It wasn't like, okay, I'm at 5 hours and 45 minutes. I need to do 15 more. It wasn't about that. But that sort of discipline is really where you can get to the type of goals you're trying to achieve. So when we put the company together, it was really important to us that we started to look for people who believed in similar things, but that in sort of our guiding principles, that we're looking for people that can see an opportunity, bring ideas, take that opportunity, that don't need their hands held, that people that are accountable, but they have to have the empowerment to do that. So those are things that we really, really focus on. Um, Alex, why don't you maybe give some examples or some recent examples of things that really sort of reinforce that that's a huge part of who we are as Prophecy.
I think it's commitment to follow through. I think it starts with what we say is what we do. And that takes commitment. I think it's very easy through a sales process to sit there and promise all these grandiose things and these wonderful platforms and all this data and all these different things that people say they'll provide. And then when you get in, it's a little bit lackluster. All of you guys who are listening, and especially our automotive clients, you've been a part of that where you see that. And I think there's a commitment to being able to deliver exactly as presented. And that also changes customer experience. And we have seen that firsthand, how important that first call is, the setup months before to get to that point where you're like, most of these deals, right? You sign, you look at it, then you've got a 30-day lead time, and then you launch, and it's been 45, maybe 50 days since the initial presentation. And you deliver on exactly what it is you say. It's so refreshing, and it's so wonderful as a company to be a part of that. I think that's one layer of our commitment. There's also commitments that we have made to ourselves, which is we're not going to Frankenstein a company together with bolted on parts. We're going to completely and utterly reinvent the way that advertising technology works for this particular space, but e-commerce in general. We believe very strongly in how marketing should go. So why build through systems that are, allowing for all these different types of customizations, everything else? We want to automate all these things. So that's first and foremost is our commitment to that. And that takes commitment because everyone looks at it, and especially in this industry where you see a lot of white labeled things, and it's cheaper to buy than build. But boy, oh boy, when you build, it puts you on a different level. And so there's a commitment there, and all sorts of other commitments. I mean, I could ramble on this for a while, but I mean, just to those couple points, what say you on the matter, Dave?
Well, yeah, the tech stack thing's hugely important to us. We started, and our goal was to build everything ourselves, and we used partners at different times. And one by one, we kind of got rid of all those partners because in one way or another, we weren't getting what we wanted. And we were pretty demanding clients, and we realized we're just going to build it. And we're very close to having that done, of being almost 100% proprietary on our tech stack. And that's a commitment, and that will happen. And that's really super unique in the space. Um, so that's part of it, and that is a commitment. And yeah, delivering what we sell is so important. Like, we're never going to go out with vaporware. We're just not. If we have ideas, we're going to prove those out. We may test them with a client or two, before we, bring them out everywhere. But that client or two, we're going to tell them, hey, are you okay with testing this? We're not going to just do it and then tell them about it later. Um, that was the biggest thing. One of our first conversations is like, there's no excellence in marketing anymore. We need to bring that back. And
Great
that's kind
point.
of where it started, because
Yeah.
there's so much, white labeling. There's so much of the same technology is being used over and over again. And we've talked to different companies that maybe we were going to partner with or whatever. And, that's one of the first questions. I mean, going back to my days when I was doing biz dev at other startups and I was looking at partnerships, one of the first questions I would always ask is like, how did you get started? Because especially when we're talking with startups, they always have a good idea, which is what got them to be a company in the first place. But as you start to dig into what does their roadmap look like? What are their ideas? What are they trying to do? Are they funded for it? Do they need funding for it? You start looking at what they are as a company. If they don't have much beyond that original idea, or it's just sort of, little tweaks to that, that's not someone you want to do business with. You got to have someone that's got a huge addressable market, that actually has, groundbreaking ideas, that they just have to get there, but they've got bigger thoughts and bigger ideas. And that's where we're at. We're not about just continuing what we're doing or just little tweaks here and there. Like, we're committed to doing something entirely different, and growth is going to be on our terms. Scale, I don't care about scale. Scale will come, if we need it to, or if we want it to. I'm much more concerned about taking care of the clients we have and adding more of them that match our target. One of the beautiful things about the last couple of years is we figured out who our target is, and now we're going after that. That's who we want. And if that means we have less dealers than other folks, I don't care. We'll keep our clients longer, lower churn. It'll be profitable business, and our clients will be happy. That's
100%.
the commitment that we've made to each other and to our team and to our clients.
And I guess I find my final thoughts on this, because I think we've done a pretty decent job of talking about it, is everything we've done in our company has been a commitment to get to the next step. So it's not like we came together. We obviously had these ideas and strategies on how we wanted to approach it, but each problem was a commitment to solve that problem uniquely and then move on to the next problem. And it's like in The Martian, when he's at the end, he's talking to all the candidates for the astronauts, and he's like, look, you just begin, you solve one problem, you get to the next problem, you keep solving enough problems, you get to go home. And I think that's really what we've done from a commitment standpoint. A perfect example of this was, we just talked about this on the last episode with Adam Dominici, was creative. We had to solve that problem. It took a gigantic commitment, of which was 18 months of developing and ongoing development, and probably forever development in this category, of building out a solution that was capable of creating content at scale for all of the various platforms that we have in wide, vertical, and square formats simultaneously. That took a huge commitment. A lot of people would have looked at that and changed their strategy, thinking, well, maybe it's my strategy that's wrong. Maybe I'm approaching it differently. Let's find an easier solution to revenue. That is the problem. I think that is a big problem that plagues this industry. Everyone's looking for easier solutions to revenue. I get why. Your clients can be thankless sometimes. When things are good, it's not it's not you. And when things are bad, it's definitely you. But we all signed up for this, and we all know, and Dave made a great point about that. Everyone is just like putting this ball together of all these different white labeled solutions and calling it something unique. And it takes commitment. And I know it's bold to say this, but for those folks out there that are doing that, we're coming in the market. We're going to be making a statement, because we are not, and our solution is very unique. Our consulting is even better. Our data is even better. And we just really want to kind of show what we're worth and what we can do. I don't know, Dave, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, again, and we've said this multiple times. I mean, we may not be for everyone, and that's okay. Our approach is different, and it takes a different mindset. And for those, potential clients that see the value in that, great, let's talk. And for those who don't, that's okay too. We just believe really strongly in what we're doing. We're getting really outstanding results, and it's because when we see opportunities that are difficult, we do the exact opposite, from running away from it. We're in the process of getting some new business that's totally different than anything we've done, and the client's excited and we're excited, because we know when we figure this out, and it's not if, it's when, it's going to be a game changer for this particular area. And we're both just so fired up about it. And we know, like, hey, we might be putting in, 3 to 6 months and just kind of figuring this out. But once we do, it's a game changer. We love that challenge. We couldn't wait to get our hands on it. Exact opposite of
Yeah,
this is too
exactly.
difficult. We don't even want to bother. So
Yeah.
that's our mindset. So if anyone out there has problems that they've been struggling to try to find a way to get their head around, call us. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
100%. Well said, Dave. Well, that's going to be it from us here, episode 9 from Proficy Digital, talking about commitment and just the level of commitment it takes to be successful in the advertising space of this world, whether it's automotive or any vertical out there. So that's it for now. We're signing off, and we'll catch you on episode 10 as we continue to dive into these topics.